Hello fantastic people, I hope you are doing great. As you are probably aware, you can categorize your game objects using tags. You can use existing ones or create your own ones. Over here I have 3 different types of floor tiles. One is made of stone, another one of wood, and the third one is the combination of both. There are many different reasons why you may want to tag your floor tiles. For example, you may want to play different sounds when character is walking on them. Or maybe some of the individual tiles are trap tiles. And all would be great if not one of the strangest limitations I found in Unity. Each object can have only one tag. Of course, we could try to get around that limitation by, for example, creating tags with combinations of different tags. Or instead of placing the tag on the parent object, we could have multiple children objects with individual tags. Of course, both of those solutions are extremely terrible. Let's instead create our own tagging system. I start by creating a new script and call it tag. I make it extend the scriptable object instead of the mono behavior. Then I add simple calculated property called name. It returns the scriptable object name. Now I add create asset menu attribute with 2 parameters. For the file name I use new tag, and for the menu name I use the tags/new. Now I go back to Unity and create scriptables folder. Inside of that folder I create another one and call it tags. Do you remember the attribute we added to our tag? It allows us to conveniently create new tags by going to create, tags, new tag. I'm creating 2 tags, one called wood and one called stone. Now I'm going back to the scripts folder and I'm creating another script called tags. Inside of it I create a serialized private list of tags. Then I add calculated property that will return all of the tags that are currently in the list. Then a public method called hasTag, which will return true or false depending if the given tag is inside of the list or not. My IDE doesn't like the tag name because mono behaviors have already that property. I'm going to change it to something very simple, like t. I create another public method with the same name, this time with parameter of type string. I find it very convenient to be able to check the tag by name, not only by the scriptable object instance. I use the exists method to check if a tag with a given name is in the list. Now I add the tag script to all 3 types of tiles. And of course I added the right tags to the lists. Now to propagate the changes to all instances of those prefabs, I apply the changes. Now let's create a script to check if everything works as expected. I call it fantastic script. I drag and drop it on my character. Inside of it I add onTriggerEnter to the method. And then I try to get the tags component from the collider. If I succeed, I add series of debug logs. First one will print out the names of all tags in the list. It will require a small fix, but we'll do it in a second. Then the second line will print a message if the wood tag is on the game object. Let's slightly modify our tag script to make sure the check is case insensitive. Here instead of simple comparison we'll use the equals method. As a first parameter we'll use the tag name, and as the second we'll use the string comparison invariant culture ignore case. Now inside of our fantastic script let's add another debug log to check if our logic works as expected. Of course, it would also be great if we would test our check based on the tag instance. Let's create for that the serialized field of type tag. Then let's add another debug log, this time utilizing the hasTag with parameter of type tag. Let's set the check tag on our fantastic script to stone tag. Now let's add simple box colliders to all of the tiles. We of course have to make sure that they are all marked as triggers. Then I also need to add the collider on my character. And now just for a second let's get back to the fantastic script. Inside of the first log, instead of simply printing the enumerable, let's join all the items inside of it. And we're ready to test. Let's collide with the stone tile. Great, everything as expected. Now turn for the wood tile. Here also great. And of course, the mixed tile. And as expected, also over here everything works correctly. Fantastic! Now time for small quality of life improvement. Let's create some useful extension methods. In case you are not aware what extension methods are, you can have a look at this tutorial. I'm creating a new script and calling it GameObjectExtensions. It doesn't have to extend any type, but it has to be static. Then I add public static bool method called hasTag. Then after this keyword I create GameObjectParameter. Then another one as expected of type tag. Then because I'm terribly lazy, I'm going to copy-paste the content of our own triggerEnter method. Then because I'm a responsible human, I need to face the consequences of my poor choice and clean up all the mess that I copied. So as you see now, inside of that method I simply try to get the tags component from the GameObject, and if I succeed I check if it has the tag t. If I didn't find the component, that means the tag is definitely not there, so I simply return false. Then I use the power of my IDE to simplify that code. Then I add another variation of this method, this time with the parameter of type string. Inside of it I do exactly the same check, this time using the new parameter. Let's have a look how to use those inside of our onTriggerEnter2D method. This time from the collider I get the GameObject, and then directly on it I can check if it has the tag. Fantastic! And now if we walk on the stone or mixed tiles, we'll see the message. Awesome! If you are up for a small challenge, you can extend the tags class to allow adding and removing tags during the runtime. This way you will be able to modify the tags that are assigned to a GameObject during the actual game. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If so, don't forget to like and comment this video and of course subscribe to my channel. Have a fantastic day, love you and bye bye.